cautiously along. To his delight, it seemed thick and stout. Another movement, and, by stretching out his paw, he would be able to draw the string towards him, when the branch gave a loud crack, and the cat made haste to wriggle himself back the way he had come. But when cats make up their minds to do anything they generally do it, and this cat began to look about to see if there was really no way of getting at his ball. Yes, there was, and it was much surer than the other, though rather more difficult. Above the bough, where the ball was hung, was another bough, much thicker, which he knew could not break with his weight, and by holding on tight to this with all his four paws, he could just manage to touch the ball with his tail. He would thus be able to whisk the ball to and fro till, by and by, the string would become quite loose, and it would fall to the ground. It might take some time, but the Lion's little brother was patient, like most cats. Well, it all happened just as the cat intended it should, and when the ball dropped on the ground the cat ran down the tree like lightning, and, picking it up, tucked it away in the snake's skin round his neck. Then he began jumping along the shore of the big water, from one place to another, trying to find a boat, or even a log of wood, that would take him across. But there was nothing. Only on the other side he saw two girls cooking, and though he shouted to them at the top of his voice, they were too far off to hear what he said. And what was worse, the ball suddenly fell out of its snakeskin bag right into the river. Now, it is not at all an uncommon thing for balls to tumble into rivers, but in that case they generally either fall to the bottom and stay there, or else bob about on the top of the water, close to where they first touched it. But this ball, instead of doing either of these things, went straight across to the other side, and there one of the girls saw it when she stopped to dip some water into her pail. "Oh, what a lovely ball!" cried she, and tried to catch it in her pail, but the ball always kept bobbing just out of her reach. "Come and help me," she called to her sister, and after a long while they had the ball safe inside the pail. They were delighted with their new toy, and one or the other held it in her hand till bedtime came, and then it was a long time before they could make up their minds where it would be safest for the night. At last they locked it in a cupboard in one corner of their room, and as there was no hole anywhere, the ball could not possibly get out. After that they went to sleep. In the morning the first thing they both did was to run to the cupboard and unlock it, but when the door opened they started back, for instead of the ball there stood a handsome young man. "Ladies," he said, "how can I thank you for what you have done for me? Long, long ago I was enchanted by a wicked fairy, and condemned to keep the shape of a ball till I should meet with two maidens, who would take me to their own home. But where was I to meet them? For hundreds of years I have lived in the depths of the forest, where nothing but wild beasts ever came, and it was only when the lion threw me into the sky that I was able to fall to earth near this river. Where there is a river, sooner or later people will come. So, hanging myself on a tree, I watched and waited. For a moment I lost heart when I fell once more into the hands of my old master, the wild cat, but hopes rose again as I saw he was making for the river bank opposite where you were standing. That was my chance, and I took it. And now, ladies, I have only to say that, if ever I can do anything to help you, go to the top of that high mountain and knock 3 times at the iron door at the north side, and I will come to you." So, with a low bow, he vanished from before them, leaving the maidens weeping at having lost in one moment both the ball and the Prince. Adapted from North American Indian Legends. End of section 10.